And if you know Joe Biden, you know him as a senator and as vice president, he's very sensitive to how people feel, right? And he's very aware of that.
What was once a whisper in Democratic circles over the president's ability to win re-election and serve a full second term is now something much different, and it's not very pleasant. Let's bring in Vermont Democratic Senator Peter Welch. Senator, it's great to see you. Thanks for joining us. Simply put, do you want President Biden to be the Democratic nominee in 2024?
I want him to make that decision. You know, what you have at the lead-in, that President Biden is sensitive to people. And more than that, he is sensitive to the needs of the country. And I am absolutely certain that President Biden is reviewing a situation in light of the very bad debate. And he's going to make a decision that is not about him, that is about what's best for our country. And we all know what the challenges are. But I have confidence that President Biden is going to make the right decision.
If he were to call you, Senator, and ask your advice, what would it be?
You know, I would defer to him. We love Joe Biden, okay? He has, in Vermont, gave him the highest vote margin in the entire country. We love who he is. We love how he loves his country and loves his family. We love what he's done. He kept us from Trump. He's the only one who can do it. And all of that respect we have for what he's done and how he's done it over his decades in office, we're going to defer to him to make the decision. And it's very clear that the White House is very aware of the implications of what happened at that debate in the aftermath. I mean, President Biden did go in behind, and the age issue was the question. And instead of alleviating the concerns, Thursday night intensified the concerns. The president, I'm sure, is aware of that, as is his team. So I'm going to have confidence that the president will make the decision that's best for the country.
Senator, you say you love the president. That is a sentiment shared by many, many Democrats. Is this time a time for tough love?
Well, sure. I mean, the president is, I'm sure, hearing from people who are very close to him. And that would include friends and possibly family. And they're wrestling with the reality that there was a setback that was significant. It wasn't just a normal bad debate. There were questions that were raised about his physical ability. And that's just got to be acknowledged. I think the campaign initially made a mistake when a few of the campaign folks were dismissive of Democrats who were asking among themselves the same question that the president was asking. But bottom line here, the existential challenge for the Democratic Party is to protect the country from another Trump presidency. And that is far more important than the circumstances or the situation for any individual. So every single one of us, from the president to local Democratic ward committee people, we all have to be asking what's best to help us guarantee that we will do our best to protect America from another Trump presidency. And no one is more concerned about that than Joe Biden.
In that light, I want to quote to you a fellow hardy New Englander, Jared Golden, a member of the House, an institution I know you respect and revere, from Maine, said yesterday in an op-ed, quote, "While I don't plan to vote for him, Donald Trump is going to win, and I'm okay with that."
Well, I'm not okay with that. I am not okay with that. We cannot have a Trump presidency, particularly in the light of that catastrophic Supreme Court ruling that overturned what has been the tradition in our country since it was founded, and that is that no person is above the law. Our whole revolution was to get rid of a king. And what the Supreme Court is saying is that the president is a king. And if they do things that are clearly illegal, but, quote, in their official capacity, it's okay. It's not okay. Trump thinks it's okay. So no, Jared, you're wrong. It is not okay to have Donald Trump back in the presidency.
You know as well as I do, Senator, that there is no mechanism for the Democratic National Committee to eject President Biden if he wants to be the nominee for the party. He's earned the delegates. He won the primaries. He won the caucuses. So there's not much time for this consideration to be given. And when the White House, as it did today, said the president's going to evaluate the next couple of days, you and I both know who's going to be the evaluator. Him. So isn't this decision already made?
He has the right. The decision is made, and the only one who can, because he's our nominee, all but ratified in Chicago. But he's the one who has the authority to make the decision, and I trust him that he'll make the right decision. You know, by the way, one of the things that's so terrific is all these names that are out there about people who might be contenders in the event that the president steps aside. They all want to run on the Biden program. Joe Biden has unified the Democratic Party from Bernie Sanders to Joe Manchin. You know, it's another reason why there's such immense affection and respect for President Biden, what he's done to unify this party. So he'll decide, and I am one who has real confidence that he'll make that decision assessing what's best for our country.
How would you evaluate this race if it were Kamala Harris leading the ticket as opposed to President Biden?
I'm not going to get into the speculation on this because, as I said, Major, we're unified. So you've got all these folks whose names are being mentioned, including the vice president, and they're going to be running on the Biden agenda. So this is a decision that then ultimately, if we get to that, delegates are going to have to make. And the various folks who are interested in this office are going to have to get out and present their goals and their aspirations. But, you know, she's terrific and has done a great job, a remarkable person.
Vermont Democratic Senator Peter Welch. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.